Hello and welcome to Switzerland. Well, Bohemian Switzerland. We are the Honest Guides from Czech Republic and we would love to present to you our newest national park there is. Not only nature, but also some hidden underground factories, celebrities, me on the red carpet, great place for breakfast, and many, many more hidden gems. So let's go to it. We have climbed to the top of the Šaunštejn Castle here, and it is not a castle as you may think it would be a castle because it's more of a rock that was carved into the shape of a castle. It was used to guard this area, but then later it was used for thieves to hide out. So it's also nicknamed the Thief's Castle. The way up here is really cool. I think your kids will love it. And if you fear heights, it may be difficult, but the reward, in this case, the view is worth it. And it's really cool here. I didn't expect this place to be this cool. From this rock castle, we're going to continue on the red path, 500 meters, and there's something small but beautiful. So there's this famous rock gate called Pravčická Brána here in the area that is very popular. And right now it's closed as we're filming. So we found in the map that she has a little sister, the small Pravčická gate. And my friend said, Janek, not really worth it. It's really small. And they were not lying. It is very small, but cute. And you can be here by yourself. The other one is very popular with masses of tourists. So we recommend this one. Should be called Mini. We are next to a village that is called Růžová, which means pink. And here is this little lookout tower that is called Růženka, which would be a girl's name. It is by far the cutest lookout tower I know. It is very popular for its looks. It kind of looks like an astronaut's helmet. You do get a beautiful view onto the lookout tower, but also from it into the surrounding area. And what you're looking at, you can check on the signs above. You can see what are the names of the hills that you can see. There are also other signs, other names down at the bottom and along the staircase. And those are people from the village and from the surrounding villages that actually contributed to build this lovely architectural masterpiece. From the lookout tower, we walk down to the village of Růžová that has a beautiful Baroque church. Facing it is a restaurant that is special for one thing. It has a bowling alley, so you can go bowl here. And there's also a local factory that makes soaps. And you may wonder, how come I know all this? Well, my friend has a cottage here. We have just arrived to a campsite called Kemp U Ferdinanda. Nothing unusual about this place, a beach volleyball, a bunch of kids playing, there's a little pub, there's a nice view over the rocks and some alpacas. So I don't really know if we should recommend this place, but guess what? Adam Sandler was actually in this camp filming his new movie, Astronaut from Bohemia, that will soon air on a Netflix. And we talked to the locals and they said that Adam was the nicest guy. He was giving selfies, he was helping the crew, and he really enjoyed his time here in our beautiful part of the country. They even left a red carpet here that he used. So that's like a memorable thing that they want to preserve in this camp. So you should visit too. Tam je žába. Kámo, přísahám bohu, že tam... Slyšíš to? Adam Sandler's red carpet, a leftover. I don't think even Adam Sandler had such a warm goodbye, but we'll continue on our trip. The national park, Bohemian Switzerland, is mainly about nature, and the amounts of touristic paths that are here is endless. For example, the Kyjov Valley. We are near the Kyjov Valley, and we were recommended to stop here for a coffee, and we had no expectation whatsoever. And not only we had coffee, some soup, but we also discovered that this used to be an old factory. Now it's turned more into a gallery. And the people who run it here, I read an interview with them here in a magazine, and they say, I'm pretty certain what I'm doing here. I'm creating a paradise on earth. And yes, this is getting close to in paradise. If you happen to be here or drive by, I don't want to tell you much more, because when we talked to the people, they said, we don't want to be in any guidebooks because we want people to experience the wow effect when they come here. And usually they would not expect such a place to be here. So yes, we can highly recommend you to visit here, and I hope you will have the same wow effect that we had when me and Honza were given a little tour around here. The town we're in right now is Krásná Lípa, which is the center point sort of for your trips to the national park. Yesterday we visited the local brewery. Honza sampled some beers, and from the locals we got a tip for a breakfast, which is a bakery also on the square, so we bought some sweets. And another tip that we're just about to go to is a local coffee place. So let's go check it out. Many of the recommendations we got from the locals were towards this place. We are in the town of Rumburg, and this is Bohemian Coffee House. Absolutely lovely place. They roast their own coffee. They make great, very reasonably priced breakfasts. Honza got a waffle. I got eggs and bacon. The service here is very lovely. They have a nice little patio in the back that sort of looks like if you're in Brooklyn, but in general, very nice place that very much surprised us, so we can only recommend it. We are in the village of Jánská to check out some factory, and not this one, but believe it or not, there's an underground Nazi factory that was building planes during the Second World War. The Nazis had to move their factories more inland as the Western armies were getting closer, and not only inland, but also literally underground. So there, behind this building, is an underground Nazi factory for planes. Let's go check it out. Not only they were making parts for planes in this underground factory, but believe it or not, for some reason, planes are crashing in this area. They have a map of total of 12 plane crashes, one very recent in 2010. So we were just told that if people go mushroom hunting in the forest, quite often they find pieces of planes. And this specific crash is very interesting because a plane was actually hijacked and there was a bomb that exploded on it, and the flight attendant survived the crash. The plane literally split into pieces up in 10 kilometers height, crashed, and the woman survived. Her name is Vesna. I actually do know the story, so you can learn more about it right here. Quite impressive. We have entered this absolutely mind-blowing complex of an old factory that was actually used during the Second World War, and the entire complex is more than 4 kilometers of these hallways that would fit a truck. And they were built, believe it or not, by prisoners from the concentration camp. The prisoners were brought here from Dachau, and later they were stationed here, and it took them only 8 months. Now, if you look at these halls, you must be thinking like they had to use like giant machines we use today. No, it was only human work, and it is mind-blowing. Obviously used for military and war purposes. Nowadays, you can just stroll around and discover it. We even went to see this part that is the unfinished part of the tunnels, and you can clearly see here how they were digging through the rock. They would drill a hole, put some explosive in it, and that's how they built it. But eventually they had to leave it and left it in this state. If you guys want to do this tour as well, they have guides in English and German, so you can do it, but make sure you order yourself before. So check out their website. We'll put the link below in the description. You can't just show up and hope for a guide. We did want to give you some food tips, but everyone we talked to, they were saying like, yeah, you know, most of the restaurants are like the usual Czech stuff. yeah, we're super happy with the usual Czech stuff. So that's why we got the fried cheese croquettes, beer. I mean, I love it. To be fair, the Swiss people probably wouldn't like what we do to cheese in Bohemian Switzerland, but it's delicious. Everywhere in this area, you're gonna come across these. These are bunkers that were built just before the Second World War, 37-38, to protect our country from, you know, the bordering country that was about to hit us. So yeah, if you're into this kind of stuff, they're all around here. They're usually separated by a couple hundred meters. The idea was that you can protect the entire border of the country. And they're quite impressive. Some of them are closed, some of them are open, some of them are remodeled, and some people take care of them. So if you're into this kind of stuff, here you go. By the way, interesting fact, next to some of these bunkers are these hedgehogs. These are anti-tank obstacles. And you may wonder what they are officially called in English. This is a Czech Hedgehog, because believe it or not, this piece of metal is a Czech invention to stop tanks. I'm sure you've seen it all around the world. So we gave the world Semtex and these. One of the quick stops you can make, it's right by the road, is this rock. There's a lot of rocks in this episode, but this one's special because back like 100 years ago, some local farmer decided to carve dwarfs into it. So you can look around if you can find all of them. Some are rustier or would use some repainting, but some look nicer. And there is more than 7. It's a quick stop if you're driving by. We have arrived to a technical landmark from 1886, and it's not a bridge. Nobody was crossing over it. It's an aqueduct. It was for water to cross over water to feed it into a nearby factory. It's from 1886, very deserted, even though it's a couple hundred meters from the road. So if you happen to drive around, I do recommend to check it out because the nature is partially taking it back. So who knows how long it will be here. Quite impressive. Well, I hope we proved to you that yes, you will be able to see a lot. The national park is absolutely beautiful and has so much to offer. Nowhere near we were able to cover everything that this park has to offer. There are so many more beautiful places that you can discover on your own. We will share a map of the places we have seen so you can follow our footsteps or maybe discover some places on your own. We were the Honest Guides, 2 dudes based from Prague, and I'll see you here on our channel or by this rock next Sunday. See you then. And in the end, I'm going to teach you a Czech word, and that is how to say dwarf in Czech. I don't like the word dwarf, but in Czech it's trpaslík, which I like much better. So in Czech, dwarf is trpaslík.